Kaushik Ranchod here, and this is a continuation of our video from last week, and I want to welcome you to our Ranchod Law TV show. So what we're talking about on this show is I601A Extreme Hardships in 2021 Part 2. So if you haven't checked out Part 1, go check that out. Here we're going to continue on different hardship waiver factors. So one factor that sometimes can be overlooked are special factors such as how would you and your spouse be treated if they went back to your home country. So in that situation, for instance, if you're in an LGBT relationship and you'd be harassed or discriminated against, or if you have different religions, for instance, if one person is Christian and one person is Muslim and your home country is predominantly Muslim, this would be an example of a hardship. Or if you're from India, vice versa, and one family member was Hindu and one was Muslim, would you be harassed or discriminated about? And talking about this hardship, how would your family treat your relationship as well if you went back home? These are different types of hardship that you don't want to overlook, that you want to include in a form of your hardship in your application, because you want to include every single factor, and these special factors are really important. So they could be religious, they can be political as well, they could also be, as I mentioned, depending upon whether or not you are in a same-sex or marriage, that could be a factor as well. So look to see whether or not you're part of one of these special factors to include that in your hardship waiver application. Another factor that you want to consider are personal matters. So if you're separated, how's that going to affect your children? Is it going to affect your family life at home? Is that going to affect your children's ability to participate in school as they normally would? Are they going to perhaps have increased anxiety? Are they going to not be able to function as they normally would? This is another form of hardship that you want to include. Looking at how would your family life be impacted, and also look at if you have home ties or ties to U.S. citizen or permanent residents in the United States as well. So are those family members going to be affected? You want to make sure you just look at every factor. This is so important because a lot of times when people come to me, they're like, oh, that's not a form of hardship. But when we dig deeper and we dig all of these hardships that are there and look at these hardships and put them together, it creates a whole story that is prevalent. So for instance, back to the parent example, are you taking your parents to the hospital for medical issues that they have? Or do they rely on you? Is one of your parents living with you? These are all examples as well of forms of hardship. I want to talk a little bit more about financial hardship because in my experience, many of our clients experience financial hardship. It is really, really important that you don't overlook this myth. Now, the myth of financial hardship is that you have to be the breadwinner. No, you don't need to be the breadwinner. You need to be essential to the household. So when you're married, as you know, if you're married, it's a partnership and both people work as a team. So maybe one person is out there going to work and the other person's taking care of the kids, but if your spouse who's taking care of the kids had to go back home, then what would you do for childcare? You probably would have to hire someone. Well, what's that cost going to be on the household? How is that going to affect you? Are you going to be able to afford it? One way to prove your household contributions and to demonstrate your household expenses is by providing bills. So you want to make sure that you actually back up everything with documentation. You can't just say, oh yeah, it's going to be X amount of dollars. Demonstrate it with evidence. So let's look at what some of the bills are. Car payments, mortgage payments, healthcare bills. These are some examples that I like to include in our cases. We also like to look at the poverty levels of your home country. and whether or not you'd be able to get a comparable job as well in your home country, because that paints a picture. So essentially what we're looking at is, would your household be able to support it yourself if you're separated? Would you be able to get a comparable job if you had to go back to your home country? And this all paints a picture of financial hardship. All right, well, I hope this video serves you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know that you are amazing, and pat yourself on the back because you took the time to watch this video. And make sure you smash that like button. But you took the time to watch this video to better yourself, to better your family. And I invite you to subscribe, to stay informed, and of course, you can always contact us. Thank you. Bye for now.